how do we rate or at least curb it?
Roland,
because it's as if right now, if you don't have money, you can't stand for public office.
Yes, Roland, let me first congratulate the NDC for the impressive performance in Kumawu yesterday. Kumawu is traditionally an NPP stronghold, and so if you study the trend carefully, an NPP victory, a landslide victory of over 70% shouldn't even be news.
Why?
But get into the details and you realize that
they
the
won
NDC...
massively.
And the NDC, no, we gained more. Like I said, it's a traditional NPP seat.
And so?
It's like NDC winning Ketu South with over 80 or 90%. It is not news because it is a traditionally NDC seat. So Kumawu is a traditional NPP seat. The NDC has never won it. And this is the second time we're having by-election in Kumawu. And in all of these elections, the NPP clearly wins because it's their traditional seat. But as a political scientist, you get into the details to see who gained more. And I am saying that the NDC was the biggest beneficiary of yesterday's elections because clearly we increased our votes by over 1,140.
How do you
and the MPP, that? No, I mean, we are comparing with the 2020 elections.
5,000 votes.
No.
The candidate didn't even get the 5,000.
We are talking about 5,000. We are talking about presidential. You are talking about presidential. We are talking about parliamentary.
NDC. When you say NDC,
but
so
we are talking
the
about
NDC, everyone who is an NDC person is supposed to vote for your candidate.
No, that is not it. It's never the case. I'm surprised you make this point. That in no elections, there is no constituency in Ghana where the parliamentary candidate gets the same vote as the presidential candidate. There are always preferences. People will go and vote for president, they will not vote for parliamentary. So we are analyzing parliamentary results. So why are you bringing in President Mahama? In the 2020 elections, the NPP candidate got 11,000 plus votes. Is that not it?
No. He got 14,000.
Yes. The independent got 11,000. Now, when you compare the results So when you compare the results the NPP had in 2020 with what they got yesterday, you made a very marginal gain of only 304 votes. Now the NDC...
But this is a by-election. But usually by-elections in Ghana, the turnout is always...
But the turnout doesn't affect only one particular party.
But you as a political scientist, you don't even do the nominal figures. You do percentage.
No.
As a political scientist, we all read political science in the university. We don't use it.
This analysis that you're making, and I kept quiet when you were talking, your analysis is flawed. We are talking about...
We're talking vote buying, you know.
We'll get into vote buying.
But
I'm saying that
the NDC why you people giving money for voters
voter
to give
turnout,
you votes?
Whether there's low voter turnout in by-elections or not.
This one is even higher because we have
the voter turnout doesn't affect only one political party. It affects everybody else. Is that not it? So you look at the nominal figures on the grounds. We made gains of 1,140. You made gains of 304. Amidst all the vote buying and all the intimidation and what have you. Now, let's get into the issue. I think it's important, Roland, for us to admit that monetization has become a threat to our democracy. And so I am surprised Awa wants to play around the bush and pretend as though there is no problem. There is a problem. We must all agree that there is an elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room is the monetization of our politics. Whether it is in internal primaries, whether it is in general elections or what have you, there is a problem and we must be bold enough to confront it. I have read the IEA report and the CDD report, where if you are going to contest or to become a member of parliament, you need to spend close to 4 million or so Ghana cedis and what have you. And then you need over $10 million to become president and all of that. Monetization is real. But if you look at what happened in Kumawu, the monetization is not only the individual gifts and monies being given to the electorates. It started from the very day the member of parliament died. Roads that were abandoned for several years. We saw that government started, they moved machines to site. Hospitals that were abandoned, they started building it. People went back to site. Projects that were abandoned for several years. All of a sudden, there was a certain urgency by government to show to the people of Kumawu that, oh, we care about you. We know you have this challenge. We know you have this problem. What have you? That is where the vote buying started from. And this is not the first time that we have by-elections where governments try to construct roads overnight. And we've seen that in other elections. Let's admit Because the people watching us are intelligent. The people watching us are discerning. They know that there is a problem. We can't keep beating around the bush and be deceiving ourselves that there is no problem. There is a problem with monetization in our politics. How do we confront it? When we elect people who are capable, people who are sincere, people who are going to perform, then we can stop these issues of monetization. Because the electorates are feeling that I'm going to vote for you. Okay, after voting for you, all the things that you promised, like the promises of President Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia, that they never fulfill. So because you are not going to fulfill your promises, then every elections become a cocoa season. That is where they start to demand money and other items. I find it very, very, very pathetic. Watch the videos. Look at, is that supposed to be an olonka or of rice? That's that small cup, a cup of rice. Dishing out cups of rice to electorate. These are people you are supposed to give employment to so that they can feed themselves and their families. Not when there is a by-election, you park a vehicle, you are in NPP paraphernalia, giving them cups of rice.
NDC,
no, but the videos I'm speaking to the videos you are showing. Yeah, but I have admitted that there is a problem with monetization. But the videos from Kumawu shows clearly. We are talking to the videos you are showing. Why do you want me to speak to an evidence that is not before me? The videos clearly shows. The videos clearly shows that
you did see the one that
look at what happened. Rice and all of the things
your
that
candidate
have been done.
was it?
I find it very pathetic. And we must admit that there's a problem.
The lady who was spreading the money.
And the problem that you're talking about, the explanation you gave for the clause that the gentleman gave, please. You see, let's not insult the intelligence of our viewers. These are clearly agents of your party.
No, he is
members,
not an agent.
If I say agent, yes. If I say agent, I'm not talking about polling agent. Yes. The person who is acting on behalf of the party, convincing the electorate that vote for the NPP is acting as your agent. These are clearly NPP agents. Giving out cloth, giving out rice, giving out 50 CDs, 20 CDs to electorate, asking them to vote for the NPP. And you think that there's no monetization?
Did I say that?
Even in your
this is your candidate. Roland, this is your candidate.
Did I really say
this is my candidate?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
And the party has taken a very strong exception.
You see
to
this one?
action.
You are saying the party.
And we have not. You see, because the party does not.
We have a
tolerate
problem
this,
in Ghana's politics. Look at the way she's sharing money.
And I said that, you see, Roland, I admitted that there's a problem with monetization. And so when she did this, and we
she shared again. Please go back. Yeah. Is it 100 Ghana or 200?
The party leadership summoned her because
200 Ghana.
Because this action is alien to the NDC. This is an NPP characteristic. We are not supposed to be like.
Please, your candidate is doing it.
And I said that is why the party summoned her.
Your candidate is doing it.
That is why the party summoned her, and the party leadership has taken a very strong exception to this action from her. My point is that, Roland, with all the vote buying, with all the things, the overnight projects in Kumawu, the NPP only gained 304 more votes.
It's a midterm election or a by-election.
And you see, what is even more serious is that when you look at the number of votes that the independent candidate got in 2020, and the fact that today, with all of that, his vote has reduced drastically, and yet the NPP made only gains of 304, it tells that there's a problem. Because in 2020 in Kumawu, the independent candidate, Kwekudua Senior, got those votes because of protest against the then sitting MP, the incumbent, who is now the late MP. And so if today, after all the party machinery, vice president, president, everybody moved to Kumawu, and yet they made only marginal gains of 304, the NDC must be commended for making a significant gain of over 1,000 extra votes. This, for me, clearly shows that we ought to position ourselves as a party for power in 2024. This also is an election that revealed the intentions of the Electoral Commission. Look at what happened in the morning yesterday. Before polls started, agents were forced to sign pink sheets even before results are written on it. And I have taken a very strong view of these issues of Electoral Commission and how they act because of what happened to me in my elections. It is important for us as a party, NDC, to call on all stakeholders to take note of these actions by the Electoral Commission and to ensure that in 2024, nobody will take advantage of our agents.
Why are you worried?
I am worried because the Electoral Commission is supposed to be fair and independent. But the current Electoral Commission we have is acting as though they are the electoral wing of the governing NPP.
Oh, how did you come to that?
Look, from appointment, for the first time in the history of Ghana, we have seen very partisan people appointed to the Electoral Commission. We have raised red flags, but President Akufo-Addo is very adamant, reluctant. He doesn't even want to listen to any views about it. An NPP panelist. So today, Awal is on the show representing the NPP. There is possibility that tomorrow Awal can be appointed as Electoral Commission under Akufo-Addo. And so the independence of the Electoral Commission was raped long ago by President Akufo-Addo. And none of you are talking about it, those of you in the media. And so I don't see the Electoral Commission as independent enough. I see the Electoral Commission acting as though they are the electoral wings of the NPP. And we are taking notes. And we are telling all the stakeholders, the Christian Council, Council of Elders, everybody who matters to understand that in 2024, the NDC will not sit and place the destiny of this country in the hands of these very partisan electoral commissioners. We must do everything possible to protect the ballot, to protect the dignity of our elections, to protect the credibility of the elections. As we speak today, the Electoral Commission is performing abysmally, and they ought to wake up because the destiny of this country rests on the electoral process. We must ensure that as independent stakeholders, they must give all parties equal privilege, and then they must be fair to all of us. What happened yesterday? But for the presence of our national officers, that agent would have signed the pink sheet even before voting started. And so, if at the end of polls, results that were never counted are written there, because signatures are attached, everybody will make the argument that when you go to court, they will say your agents have signed. I think that this election also revealed to us the plans of the Electoral Commission, especially in NPP strongholds. I am impressed by the results that we got. I congratulate the NDC, and I believe that this should motivate us to keep working hard. 2024, we are going to win the elections and bring back President John Dramani Mahama to government.
Roland.
I've ended. Thank you very much. I know. Oh, well. I started with you.
I
started with you.
Oh, but Roland.
Okay, a minute. 60 seconds.
When you have over 30,000 people voting.
No, usually by elections.
I'm coming. When you have over 30,000, that's why I'm saying that. In this, as a political scientist, you talk about percentage and not nominal figures, because you had over 6,000 people who didn't vote, who voted in 2000, but in 2020, but didn't vote yesterday. And you are talking about nominal figures. No, I'm coming. When you say that from 92, this is the first time we are having someone who is partisan. Dr. Piahine has never held any position for the party. But David Kanga was an appointee of Rawlings. He
was a patron for Tate.
David Kanga, yes, but David Kanga was an appointee of Rawlings.
He has never held
He has never held any partisan position.
Second patron, what position is that?
Who hold that position? Is that a position?
David Kanga
is that a position?
David Kanga was an NDC
he was an appointee of PNDC, and later he became a vice.
An appointee,
yes,
party office holder.
Rawlings appointed him as a PNDC official. Then he later became EC. And you are telling me that he was not also partisan?
He was not a party.
Awal Mohammed of the Asawase constituency. Thank you very much. Parliamentary candidate-elect for Ketu North. Oh, don't worry.
It's a seat that will take.
Ketu North NDC. Adam Agbana, thank you.
Stop these jokes.
We'll take it because it's only 3,000 or 4,000 votes.
This analysis is even
right.
flawed.
It's just about 3,000 or 4,000 votes.
There are different candidates.
We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the Theodora Awogan of Goil Ghana Limited. Today is your birthday. Imelda, Nassar, and all of you who are always giving us great messages on our streams. Thank you very much. Theophilus Yawado, good morning to you. Bright Andrew, thank you very much. Sefunam Newton, as well as Ejura Najo, Abu Nafs Konla, and all of you. Thank you very much. As well as Mr. Mike Aflu, good morning to you. We're taking a break. We'll be right back.